It was back to the winning track for Benfica with the win, a very tough win up in Guimarães. We got that. We also got Tirsense, and we got AVS. Comes up this weekend. That and much more. Another night, another podcast.
Hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Quero o Benfica intimidar o adversário. Quero o manto sagrado entrar com vocês em qualquer estádio e assustar-los, pá! É isso que eu quero!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Law Benfica podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumacish. With you here, with me, Cristiano Oliveira. What's happening, Cristiano?
What's going on, Alfredinho?
Everything's good. We don't have our Canadian friend Dave tonight, so it's just somebody's gonna have to carry the conversation because Dave
couldn't afford the tariffs to be on here today.
He's out searching for vegetables. I don't know. He's just having a hard time getting vegetables. Steve sent me a message. Tell Dave to look up Boston produce.
Steve, when it comes to them hidden gems, o gajo está sempre preparado, pá.
Sempre preparado. Here we are, my friends. Thank you, as always, for joining us. We already got a couple people. I know it's a little late today, but it was either late or never this week, so we opted to go late. Manuel da Cunha, Jason Gaidola. Jason Gaidola is from Canada. Jason, you having issues getting produce also up there, or you grow your own? Yep. But yeah, here we are on tonight's podcast, episode 557. We will look back at the win in Guimarães against Vitoria, tomorrow's game against Tirsense for the second leg of the Portuguese semi-final on the Portuguese Cup, and we got AVS, 16th place AVS coming up this Sunday. Yeah, here we are. Cristiano, how you been, man? Well, let's chat it up a little bit. I know that baseball season has started. You're pretty big into fantasy baseball, so that occupies most of your time these days.
Yes, it does.
Well,
With
else?
the exception of when Benfica played, it's pretty much baseball all the time. Hockey, unfortunately for me, has ended with my New York Rangers bowing out. My Knicks are in the playoffs. It's still the first round, still early. But yeah, baseball pretty much. When I'm headache free or whatever it is it may be, I watch a lot of baseball. Such my game, but Benfica is still my number one.
Yeah.
Number one love, and your number one love, and everybody here in the chat, I'm assuming. And unfortunately, though, they play every 3 days or every week now, because in the Campeonato Português they play once a week when they're announced to play. Such my game. It's either that, watch baseball, or pay attention to Sam TV and all the gossip bullshit. So I choose to waste my time on baseball.
I think you're doing the right thing. But yeah, Dave couldn't be here, as I mentioned. He will be back next week. Nothing to do with tariffs or lettuce or produce or whatever.
Yeah, we miss Dave, man. We miss Dave.
We always
need Dave and his stats on here.
We love the way Dave carries the conversation when Chris is not up to talking too much. It's always a good thing.
The Oliveira is always carrying the podcast.
That's right. That's right. So let's talk about this Vitoria game. Benfica traveled up to Vitoria. It's never an easy trip down there, and I was it's going to be one of those games that you mark on a calendar and said, but this is a tough game on the remaining games, and certainly this one was tough. Benfica lined up with Trubin, Araújo, Silva, Otamendi, and Carreiras. Dino Auschness and Kokshu in the middle, Di Maria on one side, Turkoglu on the other side, and Pavlidis up front. Nothing new here. The only thing that keeps surprising me, Chris, is how Araújo keeps getting the start. Always comes out. Always seems to only be able to go 60 minutes or whatever, and I don't understand the insistence in Araújo. When you have Dal on the bench, I think that Dal has proved that he could play at right back, and I guess he doesn't have much confidence in that the young kid that plays for the B team. But what do you?
Yeah, but you have
what's your
Dahl, you
take?
have Arsenis,
Yeah, I
you have
know.
Arsenis. If you really want to play, what's his name, Barreiro in the middle. You also have what's his name, Thiago. What's his name? The kid that came back that separated his shoulder. What's his name? Gouveia.
Gouveia.
Yeah, Gouveia. Thiago Gouveia is back, and I understand you're not going to go into Guimarães with any of those guys, as options because you need to be at your best playing against a team like Guimarães who's coming in playing wonderful football. They're a real solid team, and they're going to possess some threats on Benfica, which they did. I mean, to be brutally honest, not to move away from Tomás Araújo, but they could have made things really, really difficult here had they scored that opening opportunity in the second minute where the right winger shoots it wide. I mean, things
Yeah,
would have
yeah,
gotten really
yeah,
interesting had they converted that. But yeah, I just don't understand the insistence on Araújo. It's sad. It's a position of need that we've been clamoring for a few seasons now. Even when Ba was healthy, for the most part,
yeah,
many people didn't understand why Benfica would not go out and acquire another option at right back. Then obviously he gets hurt, and even then at the time he was already splitting time with Mas Araújo. Araújo has an injury that's apparently a chronic injury, but one that is not going to get worse from where it is now. That means that he could play aggravated. It's not at risk of anything more serious. It'll just keep pulling it. And I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm guessing it's one of those. I pull it, goes back into place. I play 60 minutes, pull it, goes. But it's amazing how it always lasts 60 minutes, right
yep,
about 60 minutes.
yeah,
And
yep,
so whatever they're doing is working in terms of getting that timing right. But it's something you don't want to see happen to a young player. You hope it doesn't hinder the rest of his career going forward. It's not something serious that could get in the way. But
yeah,
so far, so good. Going to a tough venue against a very tough team. Terrible conditions because of the rain, heavy
yeah,
field, and everything. But Benfica did what they had to do. Tomás Araújo was one of the key figures in that back four. We know Antonio Silva, Otamendi, and Carreras, who's just been playing out of his mind. But yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I can't really answer, or I don't really have an answer for you in terms of why they insist on them. The only thing I could say is they probably don't trust a lot of those other guys.
yeah,
I know Dahl is really surprised us all, and I've never, I don't recall, and I think I've asked this here on the podcast before. I don't recall a left-footed right back. I just don't. I mean, I've asked plenty of times. So give me another example. And not just a guy that played 10 minutes, and then, but Dahl is a guy that is a legit option for Benfica at right back. Obviously, he's the one that comes in when
yeah,
Barreiro goes out at 60 minutes. So I've never quite seen that, but it works. And I guess you're gonna see him probably against Dobbs. I don't know if I'm Benfica at home against Dobbs. I don't I don't go ahead and force Araújo to play a right back because we know the very next game is also at home against Sporting, which will be the Jogo do Campeonato. So if he is the guy that you indeed trust in and rely on to be your full time right back,
I think
or your
you
right
still
back in
got
the most
Sturil,
important
bro. I
moments.
think you still got
Oh, it's just
Sturil somewhere
oh
in
yeah,
there.
that's right. You got Studio, and then okay, yeah, I'm fucking that up because I was because I don't know if you saw I stuttered. I'm like, wait a minute, we play back to back games at home, but I
Yeah,
was already knee deep in, so I'm like, whatever. Yeah, we play
just go
Sporting
with it.
next, but yeah, okay, that's right. We play Studio after. Okay, still some time, but yeah, I still do think that he'll probably rest him at
Yeah,
home against Ops.
yeah, and I was reading something that said that between Di Maria not being a guy that tracks back, and we all obviously know that, and that's why we have Auschwitz to kind of balance that out. and Thiago Araújo not being at 100%, that there was a lot of the game that was through that left side. I don't know if I don't remember Guimarães forcing that left side a lot, but it was something that I was like, somebody might be up to something here by saying that, because that's clearly one of our weakest points, because Carreras, despite him being very good going forward, and you oftentimes don't see a guy that's very good going forward and then in the back is good too. I'm not going to say he's a world beater and no one gets past him in the back, but certainly he holds his own, and he defends well, I think, at times. But somebody was saying that, and I found that kind of curious that somebody was saying that left side looks, between the injury to Araújo, who doesn't seem to be at 100% all the time, and Di Maria seemed like a targeted area that the opponents could target. So we'll just have to see how that works, if anybody exposes that. But I'm sure teams would have already thought about that. But yeah, like Cristiano said, we could have been down 1-0 right in the first minute, first cross into the box in the second post, and somebody shows up and they just couldn't put it away. And Vitoria pressed high. They didn't allow Benfica to get some kind of a rhythm, build out of the back, have some kind of a rhythm. Benfica saw themselves really struggle to maintain possession, and Vitoria just kept coming until a very well executed counter. Benfica was able to play out of pressure. Hit Pavlidis in the center of the park. Pavlidis was able to spring Artur Koglu, who had tons of space on the left-hand side, and he eventually got a shot off. Somebody got a shot. It wasn't. I don't think it was Artur Koglu that got a shot off. It was somebody else that got a shot off, and Pavlidis cleaned it up. But yeah, there was a very, very good by Benfica in terms of taking advantage of Guimarães being right on top of Benfica and pressing high, and really being able to break that pressure. And when you break that pressure, you're always going to find a loose man, because the pressure involves moving guys around, kind of saturating or overpopulating certain areas of the field, so Benfica can't come out of that area of the field. But executed to perfection. Go into the locker room up 1-0, and I think that at that point, I think you have to be comfortable.
And even then, Alfredo, but you're like skipping crucial points there, which that was that was already in the second. Oh no, was that in the first half? That world-class save by the first one by Trubin to keep the game at 1-0.
Yeah.
Actually, both saves he did. I think he kept them both at 1-0.
Yeah.
But they created chances. I thought, as you were saying, they pressed high. I was unhappy with the way Benfica was dealing with that press. I was just getting ready to criticize Tino on Twitter. When Benfica breaks the press, ball gets switched over to Artur Koglu. They come on a counter, and Benfica is able to get on the scoreboard. But Guimarães kept coming.
Yeah.
Guimarães had more than their fair share of opportunities to level the score. And I think, Son Trubin on a Holy Sunday, which was just right. He kept Benfica. He gave Benfica these 3 points on those two spectacular saves. I mean, the first one, I'm not even sure he's aware of what's going on. He just has his arms up and shit. And that, I mean, it was just phenomenal to see. And things could have been completely different. The game was there, the opportunity was there for Guimarães to spoil our Easter Sunday, but the stars were on our side that one day, at least for that Sunday, and we able to manage that. But Benfica needs to be able to deal with these high presses from the opposition better than what we do. I don't understand when the quality of players we have on the field. I understand Tino's limited with the ball at his feet, but Arsenal shouldn't be, Di Maria shouldn't be, Artur Koglu shouldn't be, Koksu shouldn't be. And for some reason, it's game after game that we can't deal with these high presses, and then it's just over time our quality on the ball and our quality um on the overall roster compared to these other teams in Portugal, we're able to be above and come out of these
Yeah.
games with victories. But against competition with rosters just as good as ours, Benfica, that's when we've struggled mightily. But not this Sunday. And I think Truben, man,
Yeah.
Truben was huge for us.
Yeah.
And then as Benfica got the lead, we could tell they're able to breathe a little bit more and
Yeah.
and play a little bit more confidently.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean Guimarães didn't have their chances, I'm afraid.
Yeah, you can't take away any credit from Guimarães, and I think that the score line is a little bit too heavy, and the result was certainly better than the performance. One of those cases, but I don't think anybody complains because it's always going to be a tough game, and Guimarães has been doing well despite losing a couple key players, one of them to Benfica. They've done very well, and where they are under Freire. Benfica came in this game with pressure that Sporting had already played the game and won. This was going to be a difficult game. All eyes were on Benfica, but I think that there's a couple of things that I wanted to read here from the chat. Manuel de Cunha says, I like our second half response. Jason Gaidala says Benfica needs to decide on what direction they intend to take regarding the back line. Ivan says, what is our theory on why we struggle against a team like Aroca and then beat Vitoria 3-0? And here's something that I was thinking, and I've also heard people say this. I think a lot of Lage's style is giving possession or kind of absorbing that pressure, and then going out on fast transitions and fast counters to beat the team, and that's how Lage likes to play. So giving the ball to the opponent, and then being able to get that ball and being able to spring guys, I think that's seems to fit the style, and it kind of explains why sometimes we can't control the game because we give the ball to the opponent. We soak up that pressure because that's how we play, and I guess in a way, that's the way I see it. Why we could beat Vitoria 3-0, but then Aroca, which doesn't have much, we struggle against Aroca, and I think it's that style that's kind of suited us well throughout the season is giving.
No, but real quick, Alfredo, it's not that if you go based on that in terms of Benfica being better, playing on a counter, allowing the opposition to have the ball, that's not just this year. That was last year and the year before. Benfica's played like that even under Roger Schmidt for huge parts of the season last year. Or I remember talking about it on here. I remember going into Sporting with Ruben Amorim. At times they liked when the opposition had the ball themselves, so then they could press and counter. And I remember talking about it going into those games where both teams like to do the same thing. So this is not just something on the Bruno Lage. I think this has been going on with Benfica over the last few years.
Yeah, but if I remember right, Schmidt's first year, I think we did a lot with the counter press. So we would press really high, and then once we got the ball, we'd go. I think that Lage's style is more lower your lines and absorb some of it, and then look to catch the opponents off guard with somebody on the weak side that they're not waiting for. I don't know. It's something to keep in mind, and maybe something to look out next time you watch the game. But I was listening to a podcast and they were saying that, and it's so odd, right?
Yeah, but it's not, like I said, Alfredo. It's not the first. We've talked about this for years. Benfica has a very difficult time playing against teams on the low block with the low block. Benfica has a very difficult time creating. They have a very difficult time penetrating lines at times. And this is, again, you don't need to go listen to a podcast. This has been going on for years. Benfica is just, for some reason or another, a much better team playing on a counter. That's why we're able to sit there and play toe-to-toe with the Barcelona, because that's what they're good at, sitting back and countering.
Yeah.
We've just not been very good going into these smaller stadiums and against these smaller teams where we have the ball. We often come on here and talk about why even play Timo, Jesus, Shout out to Timo. Why even play Tino in certain games where we know we're gonna have the ball, where we're not gonna have to defend because
Yep.
it's another limited option out there with the ball at his feet. So
Yeah.
this has been going on for years, man.
And-
This is nothing new. It's
we-
absolutely nothing new.
And we look at, I mean, I think it was Aroca last year that they had more possession at Stadio Luz than we did, right? And it's when you look at it, it's a bit weird, right, to see the team play like
Riwav last year.
Riwav, right?
We
Riwav.
came back. Riwav. It was Riwav. We came back and beat them.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
And it's one of those things where you look at it, right, and it's not in our DNA to watch the team play like this because we always like to Benfica to press, rolo compressor, always on top, getting the ball, going deeper. And this one is a bit weird. And I don't know if it's just the style in the past or the players, because a lot of them have carried all over since last year. And I don't know if this is something that Lage has identified as a particular style that suits this team and suits these players. But certainly it's something interesting that you can't control games with the ball because you can't play with possession, and you kind of soak up and you give your opponent some of the initiative because you just look to beat them whenever they slip up. It's so weird.
I'm very interested to see next season with a healthy Manu.
Yeah,
where I think he'll play. Hopefully, like Hugo and I were talking today, he said he's still young. Because I'm like, you never know. He had surgery, things can happen. But Hugo's kind of like, he's young, he'll recover. But if he does recover, and we all hope he does, he showed a lot of promise his few games at Benfica. But he's a player that can play with the ball at his feet, can defend, can distribute. It'll be a little bit, different than what we play now. And obviously, Benfica is going to acquire more players, or maybe not in the offseason. We shall see. But it'll be interesting to see with a player of that caliber, with that ability in his feet, to see Benfica still plays the same way. But when you have the roster we have now, it's something that I've noticed for years now. We, like, what's his name? Who was it? Ivan? That said, what is our theory on why we struggle against a team like Aroca and then beat Vitoria? And again, it's the same thing. Go look at Barcelona a couple of times. Look at the teams who played in the Champions League. Benfica had a hell of a record on the road in the Champions League because they played that exact system.
Yeah.
And it works for them because I think we catch teams napping. We have players that have enough ability to cause havoc on a counter. But until we get a legit number 6, a guy that could play with the ball at his feet, Enzo Perez, like we had for those 6 months. That's just the way Benfica is going to approach a lot of these games.
Yeah, we're going to continue doing that. Second half, Sheldrup comes in for Di Maria, who got out hurt, but apparently nothing to be concerned of, and you should be available for AVS. A couple more substitutions in the 70th minute. Barreiro, Araújo, Auschwitz.
What about Tirsense, bro? You just skipping over Tirsense? Should be available for Tirsense. He's not playing. He's not.
I don't know if he's available for Tirsense because he got his fifth yellow.
Oh, that's right. No, we don't know. We don't want to say force because that could be a finable offense. But a strategic yellow for complaining. Yeah, that's right. Does that cross over to the Taça Portugal?
I don't know if it carries.
I don't think it does. I don't think it shouldn't because it's the accumulation of yellows in the league. So I don't think that carries over to the Taça.
Yeah, I think maybe he told the ref that I'm going to Otavio's birthday party and you're not invited. Fuck you.
Yeah, because he got up pretty late out of the bench and he's like, "Yeah, tu não foste convidado, filho, fui eu."
You're not going to Otavio's bash
tonight. You're not invited. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we had 2-0 from Carreras off of a Sheldrup assist. Carreras basically went on his own. He just kept going and going and going. People gave him room. He just went, and then he beats Varela first post. With a lot of people may say that's a frango, but that's a rocket. I don't know if Varela has.
It is a rocket, but you were taught anytime a goalie gets beat near post, it's his
Yeah.
fault. So,
Yeah.
but listen, I'll take it. All right.
Oh, all
And
day.
even then, Guimarães comes back, and then Saint Truba makes his second world class save of the day to
Yeah.
keep things at 2-0. I mean, it was just
Yeah. In the
and then
81st minute.
and
Yeah.
then here's the question. I don't see no Chic Marcelino, but maybe Ivan Gaidola and these guys, Manuel Acuna, Manny Valadão, these guys in the chat, could tell us that Nuno Santos that almost scored twice on headers. That's not the former Nuno Santos that played at Benfica and played in Carolina here in the MLS, is it? You guys,
No.
do you know that, Alfredo?
No.
Do you know if it was him?
Mm.
Because I know he was in Carolina. I think he left. I think he's back in Portugal.
He's still in the MLS, I think.
You sure? I thought he left. I'm gonna look it up, but I thought he left.
Look it up. But yeah, and then 3-0 again with Pavlidis. Just another scoop up by Pavlidis, who scored his I don't know how many goals this season. I think he's up to 27. I want to say, or 28.
Yeah, but that's not in the Campeonato.
No, that's altogether. But what he's done really, really, really well. I don't know if it's
after starting the season on a dry spell that made us all wonder what in the world is going on here. But yeah, there is that Nuno Santos. See, Alfredo? Yeah, he's back. It is that one. It is that one. Let me see.
I don't know if it is.
Yeah, Charlotte. Yeah, it is. It's him. He's back.
Playing.
He only played 9 games at Charlotte. Then he went to Crown Legacy. I don't even know what that is. But yeah, that's him. Benfica, Moreirense, Boa Vista, Passo Ferreira on loan, Charlotte 9 games, Crown Legacy, and then Vitoria Guimarães. He's back, so it is him. Yep.
Oh, you know what I was thinking of? The guy that was playing for Columbus. He's not even. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. He's from Braga.
Yeah, he
Pedro
came from
Santos.
Braga.
That was Pedro Santos.
Pedro Santos. This Nuno
he's
Santos
now. Where is he? Is he in LAFC? He might be in LAFC now.
Yeah. This guy came from Moreirense, Boa Vista, Passo Ferreira, and then he went to the MLS.
I just told you.
Yeah.
So he's the former Benfica guy.
That's who I was talking about.
Yeah, but
the guy Thiago Silva, I thought he was he's a nice player too in the midfield. He's pretty good. He's a Benfica product also. He's been around for a bit.
But he's not a midfielder. He's a winger though. That dude's a fat. He's the leading goal scorer on the team.
The guy in the middle. He's in a Thiago Silva. I want to say.
Oh, I made a mistake. That Pedro Santos is not LAFC. He's DC United. He's at DC United. Yeah, he's former Sporting product. Casa Pia. Whatever. Then he played at Vitoria Setúbal, Braga. Yep, the kid from he was a really good player at what do you call it? Columbus. Yes, he won a couple of MLS Cups and whatever. You know who plays in the MLS?
Who plays in the MLS?
Diogo Moreira, Real Salt Lake.
He's playing former in MLS now?
Real Salt Lake.
He's on loan by PSG? Player. Chelsea?
No, man, that's Diego.
Oh, Diego.
Remember Moreira. Diogo, the guy with the little Zorro mustache?
I think so.
Come on, bro. You gotta know who he is. He left Benfica to not Rosenberg maybe, or one of those teams. You know what I'm talking about? The winger, right?
It's not Moreira, I don't think.
It's not Moreira. So, sorry.
DG, right?
Huh?
DG. Call him DG.
No. Oh, he's trying to say. I'll tell you his name right now. Yeah, Diogo Gonçalves. I'm sorry.
Diogo Gonçalves. Yeah, the funny thing is that when we have these brain stoppages, the people that listen to us, they're probably in a car like yelling out the name because we can't fucking figure out who it is.
Yeah, he left Benfica to Copenhagen. It was close. It was out there somewhere.
I get those messages from from Nuno Pereira all the time. He's listening to the podcast and we can't for the life of us figure out who a certain player is, and he's like, he texts me, and then like 5 minutes later, oh, you guys got it. But look, important win for Benfica.
Yeah, Jason Gaidola saying not the same Nuno Santos. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. He's thinking of the Nuno Santos that went to Sporting, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, there's the Nuno Santos, the one I was talking about. Yeah, and then Nelson says Pedro Santos is playing.
Pedro Santos, yeah.
USA. He played one game with Luton Town, whatever it's called, which is DC United's B team.
Yeah.
But yeah, enough MLS talk. Let's
Yeah.
get back to Benfica.
No, but look, important win for Benfica at Guimarães. Tough game because of the weather and you know they organized themselves well. They got a nice little team. They got a nice little fan base up there.
I like the coach.
Yeah, the coach is somebody to keep and you've liked him for a couple seasons now. I don't know.
Yes.
First time that he popped in
Yes.
your radar was when he was at Rio Ave. And Rio Ave had a really nice, attracting style. And I remember you talking about him. I don't know. Maybe he's poised to be the next Rui Borges. I don't know.
I like him. I like the way his teams play.
Yeah.
I like his composure. I like the way he talks.
Yeah.
I think he's a solid coach. Now, is he ever going to get to a big team? We don't know. We shall see. Let's not forget George Jesus showed up at Benfica late. I would say probably late 40s, early 50s, maybe. I don't know, whatever it was. But coach when Benfica hired him, I said, where we get this butcher from? And so
George Jesus had been around for a while, bro.
I think he had coached every single team in first, second, and third division. I named Sport Benfica and Sport.
Fucking shit. He had been around for a while. I remember him at Bolonense. He was around, and then I think when he got to Braga is when he really started turning heads.
And then he got to Benfica, did his thing. But yeah, he was a coach that took a while to get there. And I think what's his name? Frey, I forget his name now. Luis Frey, whatever his name. I like the coach. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. Obviously, he's on an upward trajectory. So we'll see what happens. He's doing a good job with Guimarães. He did a good job with Rio Ave.
Would you take him if Plage left?
I like him. But, I mean, the pressure, Benfica, it's totally different. Benfica, especially if they don't win the Campeonato, I do think Lage will be back anyway. But Benfica needs big personalities, needs coaches with experience. And I know Lage is the guy to counter all that. He didn't have much experience or none at all when he took Benfica. Yeah, he had only managed, I think, Swansea City for whatever, a handful of games.
Yeah.
But that being said, man, Benfica is Benfica. Benfica should always strive for coaches with history, coaches with that have given great results in the past. So I don't know, but I do like the coach. I wouldn't be against it, but it depends on what else will be available.
Yeah.
But I do like the coach, though. I do.
Yeah. So important win, as I mentioned. Dave's not here for stats, so I guess we'll move on to the next topic. And next topic is Tirsense's second leg. Benfica will play at Estádio Luz. We'll host Tirsense at Estádio Luz tomorrow at 3:15 local time. 5-0 aggregate. I don't know if we could expect much from here, but it should be a nice, easy walk in the park. I think that maybe he repeats a lot of the players that played in the first leg. Rego, I always like to see Rego. Give some time to Prestiani.
Does Prestiani play?
Get some time to Prestiani, Sheldrup.
I mean, maybe we'll see Sheldrup Prestiani tomorrow play really well, and then have people come on and say they should be starting for the Argentinian national team or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, I play all those kids. I'd absolutely play all those kids.
Yeah.
Jerami get another start. Samu in goal.
Yeah.
Dal, not even Dal. I play Leandro. Not Leandro. Yeah, is it Leandro?
Yeah, Leandro
Santos,
right back. Dal at left back.
Yeah. I don't know if I play Dal.
Barreiro in the middle. Barreiro. I don't know if I don't know if yellow cards carry over to the Portuguese.
No, I can't.
Or is this the Portuguese league? I don't know.
They shouldn't. If they do, it's stupid. So don't come over and correct me next time. Oh, they did it. I'm just going out and saying if they do, it's stupid. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking Belotti gets to start instead of Cabral Nelson.
Belotti shouldn't play tomorrow. Belotti shouldn't play. Those are key guys that you're gonna need for the remaining 4 games. And God forbid one of these guys gets hurt in a meaningless game. Let Picanha play. Let those guys play. Play Gouveia. Play Gouveia. Play those guys. It's a 5-0. If you can't hold on to a 5-0 lead against this, you don't belong you don't belong advancing. You don't have no business advancing.
Yeah.
So play. What's his name? Picanha. Tell Belotti, look, you're gonna be on the bench, buddy. We love you. If maybe we'll give you 10 minutes, but we can't risk keep players getting hurt in a meaningless game.
Yeah,
That's just my opinion.
Ivan saying Barreto also full 90. Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't play a full 90,
You don't
guys. I
think
would.
so?
Where's the kid? Where's the kid? Nunu.
Nuno
Not
Felix.
not 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 João Felix's brother. The other kid, Nunu Felix.
Yeah.
Play those kids. Play those kids. The kids that you've called up already. Let those kids play. There's no need to risk keep members of the roster, man. Imagine these guys get hurt and now you got to play Sporting. Like you're not gonna play Nuno Felix in a game like this. To then maybe have your key guys get hurt and then have to play Nuno Felix against Sporting. I mean that makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm
Play the
going
kids.
to look at lined up with Tamu,
Hey,
Dal, Bajrami,
Nelson.
Silva, Leandro
Nelson.
Santos. Nelson saying what?
We can grab a few of the girls from the women's team if we need to.
Epa!
Também não é assim, pá. Também that's not disrespect.
Cuidado
Também não é assim.
contigo, pá. Yeah, I'll tell you who got minutes. Prestiani, Gouveia, Artur Cabral, Josh Winder, and Nuno Felix. Got
Yeah, Winder could get a call.
Yeah,
Winder
sure,
could
why
get
not?
a call. Even Hugo Felix could get a call. Who
Yeah,
cares?
sure, why not?
You know what I mean?
Even Hugo Ferreira should get a call.
Nah,
Takes a
then we
little bit out of
lose
shape.
7-0.
For the
And then there goes the 5-0 advantage.
Yeah, and then after that we got AVS or AVS or AFS or whatever you want to call them Sunday at 1 p.m. local. AVS is currently 16th place, only won 4 games the whole season. Coming to Estádio Luz, but as we know, Benfica sometimes is known for raising the dead. But certainly this is one of the games that you can't look past this game. You got to smash this team, and you got to get yourself ready for that matchup against Sporting, which happens after Estoril, Estoril is also going to be a complicated game.
And you know, Benfica has a great opportunity here. Things might fall into place, into their favor, because AVS is 3 points ahead of Boa Vista, who between amongst them they're fighting for the last spot in the Portuguese First Division, right?
Boa Vista and Farense, I think.
AVS is 3 points ahead of Farense, and so Boa Vista is. AVS is 3 points ahead of Boa Vista. Boa Vista is sitting there saying, you know, AVS is more than likely going to lose against Benfica. If we play the game of our lives and we shock the world and sport, we're tied with them. So this is a great opportunity because you know that Boa Vista is going into this game believing that AVS is going to drop points. Yeah. So you never know. You never know. Maybe, I know that the lights went off. They just paid the bill. The lights went back on, but maybe the lights go off sometime. I don't know. We've seen strange things happen in the Portuguese Campeonato. So, but at least you know that Boa Vista is going to go into this game believing that if they pull a result, that they could be right there and surviving in the Portuguese First Division.
Yeah, it's interesting that both teams come into games playing against teams who are fighting for survival, right? And obviously, I don't know how much Boa Vista is motivated because if the electricity is getting shut down, those guys haven't seen a paycheck for a couple months, right?
No, apparently they're getting paid.
They're getting paid. Somebody's paying them.
Apparently the players.
And it's not a Febra in a small.
No, apparently the players have gotten paid, bro. So we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what both teams do. Of course, Sporting is already into the final of the Portuguese Cup. They beat Rio Ave, I think, today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I don't know
2-1. 2-1 today.
Yeah, so they're already through. So Sporting plays, if I'm not mistaken, Saturday. So again, earlier than Benfica. Benfica plays on Sunday. So it's it'll be an interesting game. Interesting couple of games. I think that the Tirsense game is definitely an easy game. The IFS on paper or AVS or whatever you want to call them is an easy game also. But I think that sometimes you can't underestimate teams, and like Chris said, they could also be thinking Boa Vista lost their game, and here's our chance to get some points on them, and let's have motivation to play Benfica. So it could work both ways.
Yeah, well, we don't want to talk about that. We want we want AVS to come in demoralized. Okay?
Right. We want Boavista to come motivated and IFS to come
Obs.
demoralized.
Demoralized. Yep.
Exactly. But yeah, it should be another weekend, hopefully, that both Benfica and Sporting win easily. What else? I think that's all we got, Chris, right? Dave's not here. We're not carrying this thing for too long, right? Yeah.
No, we're ready to go.
Well, 40
everybody gotta go
minutes in.
sleep. It's late. Já chega.
Yeah, Nelson is saying this late in the season, any team can be a banana peel. I agree. Ivan saying I'm sticking with Desportivo das Aves. Nelson saying Leandro Barreiros and Kim Barreiros in the midfield. Yeah. Manny Valadão says, although not giving him time in the league, he might let him play here. I think he's referring to Brumo or Perstiani.
What was that?
Manny Valadão. Although he's not giving him time in the league, he might let him play here. Yeah, but tomorrow,
it could be Nuno Felix. It could be I don't know. It could be so many guys. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's you need to give those, especially the kids that have been working out with the main team throughout the year, and I know that they'll go and play for the B team, but they're also part of the setup with the A team. Here's a chance. Play much Estádio da Luz. Make a debut at Estádio da Luz, Benfica, and the Taça de Portugal. So it's nice.
I think all those kids have played already at the Estádio da Luz at one point or another.
No, I think he says everyone but Bruno.
Yeah, I don't understand what's happened to Bruma. He must have pissed somebody off, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, many people don't say Bruma. I mean, Bruma should not play that game though, guys. But should be Cristiani on one side and Regu and
perfectly
Shaldru, like those guys should play. It should not be Bruma. Again, like I said before, the main guys, your main weapons, you should not be playing against a team for fourth division that you're up 5-0.
Yeah,
aggregate should not at home on top. No, you shouldn't. These guys should all be just chilling, going in for a walk.
Yeah,
in the park.
No business. I know that that Otamendi was in Fatima, I think today or yesterday.
Yeah, he shouldn't even dress. Di Maria, whatever. But yeah, those guys shouldn't even dress.
Yeah, just.
I mean, if you can't hold a 5-0.
Yeah, come into the Seychelles and just do a light workout and go home and have some pancakes or something Sunday morning.
Yeah, I'm not worried about their workouts. I mean, they'll figure it out, man. These guys, let the youngsters play, get a result. That's it. Be ready for AVS on Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. That's the important. They're both important, but we can't overlook AVS. I think that's going to be cake because they're going to want to grab points.
Yep, 4-0, Alfredo.
4-0 against AVS? 4-0 against Tirsense?
4-0 against AVS. Tirsense, 2-0 with the Putro.
Yeah, 2-0. I'm with you on that. Anyway, that's all we got. We'll be back next week. We'll recap this Tirsense game and the AVS game. We'll look ahead to Estoril, which is next on top. And then after Estoril, it's Sporting and Braga. Final stretch of the season. All to play for still. Portuguese Cup and the league.
Grande abraço, meus amigos.
Grande abraço. Beijinhos para todos.
Carrega Benfica.
See you later, everybody. Take care.